Hannah, thank you so much for joining us. Just to begin, I'd like to get your general impressions of how the conference is going. We're kind of into day 3 now. How do you think it's gone?
Well, we're really excited. This conference has got a massive increase in interest. Every year we get more people wanting to come, more people coming. I think we've got about 100 more people than last year, which is great. And I think the communication angle of the conference for me is really exciting. We're tweeting, we're blogging. We've got much more in terms of outreach that we're doing this conference, and that's a big change from past conferences. So for me, that's one of the most exciting angles.
And what kind of trends are you seeing in terms of the discussion and the big themes at these conferences?
For me, in terms of the overall themes for this conference, there's two big trends that I'm noticing. There's a massive increase this year in the number of government participants and government interests. I think community-based adaptation is starting to move from sort of niche little activities run by great development organisations, but very much localised, into the more mainstream arena, and that's great because there's only so much that development organisations can do. If we want community-based adaptation to be really sort of taken up and provide the benefits that it potentially can to communities globally, then this has to be something that involves government, because it is only governments that have the capacity to mainstream and take it in at the scale at which we need it. So that's one of the big things, the big themes that I've noticed. The other one is this increase in understanding about the importance of ecosystems and natural resources. I think for some time now, people have known that, communities, do need to rely on natural resources and ecosystem services, and it's the same people who are very vulnerable to climate change. But now people are connecting the dots, and people are realising that if we work to protect ecosystems and natural resources, there are massive dual benefits in terms of climate change adaptation for the most vulnerable, and also mitigation and livelihood benefits as well. So for me, these are the two sort of themes that come out most strongly from this conference compared to other conferences.
And can you just give an example of kind of an exciting adaptation initiative on the ground where ecosystems are a really relevant factor?
I think we had quite a few presented in our session, which were great. One of which was in Vietnam, in a national park here, where local communities were really being supported to use the natural resources. There was lots of participatory planning approaches, and there were real synergies between the sort of the ecosystem management side of things, understanding what sustains ecosystems and how to keep those benefits going in the future for the benefit of local communities. So we had a lovely example from Vietnam. We had some nice activities from Bhutan, described by WWF, a whole range of activities, and there's some good posters as well that we've got here of activities happening in the Mekong, and that's important because you have to consider things at the watershed scale, particularly when it comes to water management, which although has impacts at a very local level, if you're not considering water management at the wider watershed scale, then a lot of the local activities that you're doing can be wasted.
And you mentioned that governments seem to be taking a much greater interest in this. Where do you see the conferences going in the next couple of years? We know we've heard about mainstreaming next year. What would you see CBA10 looking like, say?
CBA10, interesting. I don't know. I think I'm only thinking 2 conferences ahead at the moment. But I think the discussions that are coming out of this conference and this interest from government that we're seeing, I think that's something that we definitely want to take forward next year. So we're thinking that the theme next year will be on government mainstreaming and getting community-based adaptation into government programmes at all levels, both at the national level, but very much at the provincial and local government level as well. So that's certainly for next year. In terms of the years after that, who knows? I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you very much for speaking to us.